Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Vibes. In this video, we are going to discuss about dependency inversion principle. So let's look at the definition of dependency inversion principle. Dependency inversion principle suggests that the high level module should not depend on low level modules, but rather they both should depend on abstraction. In this sentence, you may see some jargons. Let's try to understand about them one by one. High level modules is mostly something which would be a high level business logic or a functionality, high level functionality. You'll be able to understand more about high level modules when we will go over an example. Abstraction is nothing but interfaces or abstract classes. Next is low level modules. Low level modules are the concrete implementation that will fulfill the contract defined by the abstraction. Now, given we have talked about high level module, abstraction and low level module. So high level module should depend on abstraction rather than depending on low level modules directly. So this is not allowed. There is another point. Additionally, it states that abstraction should not depend on details. Instead, details should depend on abstraction. So what does that mean? Whatever abstraction we are creating, it should not depend on the details. So details is nothing but the concrete implementation that we will be having. Rather, the details should depend on the abstraction. Whatever abstraction we have created, that should drive the implementation. It should not be the other way. Alright, let's take an example to understand it in more detail. Let's say we want to build payment service, right, which ultimately what it does is processes a payment. Over here, the feature that we are trying to build is a payment service, right? That could be our high level module in this case. Whenever we will process a payment, it can be processed via any of the gateways, right? So let's say we want to process the payment via PayPal or Stripe payment gateway, right? So there could be multiple options to process a payment. So payment service would be the high level module in this case, and then different type of gateways to process a payment would be the concrete or low level modules. So if you just think of it, right, if we want to create a payment service, one way could be we have a payment service class which has few methods. One to, let's say, process payment using PayPal gateway, another to process payment using Stripe gateway. So what we are doing, the high level module is directly depending on the low level modules. Instead of directly depending on low level modules, you better depend on abstraction. So what we can do is we can have a, let's say, payment gateway interface. Let's define an abstraction saying, let's say, process payment. Now we have three things. Payment service being the high level module. These two implementations are the low level modules or the concrete implementations. And then we have created an abstraction, payment gateway. Payment service would not directly depend on these two. Instead, it will depend on payment gateway and let the low level modules define the or fulfill the contract defined by the payment gateway. Different type of payment gateways like PayPal or Stripe gateway would implement this particular interface, making sure that they adhere to the contract we are defining in this particular interface. Again, this payment gateway, the interface that we have created, this process payment is not something which is inspired by these concrete implementations. We have a payment gateway which essentially has a job to process payment. Internally, it can use anything. So the contract is very simple, process payment. It takes a payment object and it does rest of the things depending on individual payment gateways. This contract is not inspired by any of the payment gateways that we discussed. And that is what this second point was all about. Now let's try to understand what is the benefit of adhering to dependency inversion principle, right? So whenever we adhere to dependency inversion principle, we ensure that high level modules are not tightly coupled with the specific low level implementations. Instead, they depend on abstraction. With that, we will make sure that our code is more flexible, maintainable, and easy to extend or modify. So in this case, if you see, our code is very flexible. Tomorrow we want to implement a new payment gateway. This interface can be easily extended. Concrete implementation can implement this abstraction that we defined, and rest of the things should be working fine. Given this principle is little, I would say, difficult to understand, let's try to take another example. Imagine we are developing a messaging application or notification related application that can send messages via different channels, so such as email, SMSs, or push notifications. Without thinking about dependency inversion principle, what we would be having a message sending service, which is nothing but our high level module. It's responsible for sending messages. And then what we will be doing is we will be having low level modules like, let's say, email sender, then we can have SMS sender, we can have push notification. And if you see, the message sending service, which is our high level module, is directly depending on the low level modules. If we try to implement a class considering these points, the class may look like this, right? So we will be having a message sending service, and it will have three different methods, right? One is to send an email, another one to send a SMS, and another one to send a push notification. The recipient detail and the message, actual message that we want to send, right? But if you see, now this message sending service, right, this would be your high level module that is directly dependent on the low level or concrete implementation, in this case email sender, and then similarly SMS sender. So with this implementation, what we have done is we have created a tight coupling between the high level module and low level implementations. With dependency inversion principle, what we can do, our message sending service, it remains same being high level module. Next, we can create a abstraction. It could be a message sender interface or abstract class, and then low level modules would be the same email sender. These low level modules would implement the contract defined by the abstract. So with this, what we can do, if we want to implement any other type of way to send a message, we can easily extend the message sender abstraction and create a concrete implementation, and things would work fine. Now let's look at the code for the examples that we took. So the first example was about payment service. So what I have done is I have created a payment service, and in context of dependency inversion principle, this particular class is nothing but our high level module. Our payment service is dependent on payment gateway, and if this payment gateway is nothing but abstraction. If we go to payment gateway, it's a abstraction for all the payment gateways, right? So it has a simple method for processing a payment. If we go over the implementations, I have couple of implementation. One is for PayPal gateway. PayPal payment gateway is nothing but a low level module or the concrete implementation for the abstraction that we have created. Similarly, we have Stripe as a payment gateway. In this example, I made sure that the code is following dependency inversion principle. Let's look at the code for the other example about message sending service. Initially, I just have created a message sending service, right? And if you see, this would be our high level module. I have created couple of methods. One is to send email and other to send SMS. I think you already have realized that high level modules are directly dependent on low level modules, and which is a problem for dependency inversion principle. What I have done, I have coded it following dependency inversion principle. So if we look at that code, I have created a message sending service again, which would be nothing but our high level module. It is dependent on a message sender, which is nothing but a abstraction. So if we go to message sender, it is an interface which has a method send message. I have created an email sender implementing message sender, and it does override the contract that we have defined in message sender, right? So this particular piece of code would have logic to send a email. Now our message sending service, which is high level module, is dependent on abstraction, and then the individual or concrete implementations in this case email sender, is implementing the contract defined by the abstraction. Up next, let's look at the advantages of dependency inversion principle. I've listed down the advantages of dependency inversion principle, though I think while we were discussing the theory and examples, did discuss about the advantages of dependency inversion principle. So first point is about reduced coupling. DIP helps in reducing tight coupling between modules, which internally will reduce the risk of unintended side effects and dependencies. Right? This makes the system easier to maintain, extend over the time, as the changes in one module are less likely to have side effects on the other part of the system. And this should be really very clear. Given the example that we took, if you want to make any changes in email sender service, it won't have any impact on SMS sender or implementation. This is about reduced coupling. Flexibility and adaptability is another important advantage of dependency inversion principle. With dependency inversion principle, what we do, decoupling of high level modules from low level modules using abstractions. DIP allows for easier adoption of changes, and reason being, you can easily swap out the low level implementations without affecting the high level modules. So you can internally swap out the changes in low level modules, and that would actually not impact anything in high level module, and that's when making the system more flexible and resilient to changes in requirements or technology. And this would be the end of this video. Thanks for watching.